Hello and welcome to the Stephanie Herman Show. Have you ever wondered about the capabilities of your body, its ability to heal itself and restore? Have you lost hope, added a little pounds, had an injury, and got discouraged about exercising? Well, today's show will restore your hope in the power of exercise and well-being. And we will see how we are taking care of this wonderful body so it could take care of us back. We will start our show with Bella Schneider, the irrepressible, formidable owner of La Belle Day Spas, who has made enhancing beauty and taking care of our bodies her life work. We will also follow her through her life story, which is a story of power of the human spirit. Then we will visit Michael Duncheon, who's stricken with Parkinson's disease, and we will see how his brain power and brain control has helped him in this physical journey. And lastly, you'll see how the mind plays an important role on controlling the body and healing it through dance performance. So come with me and let's meet Bella Schneider. Bella, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for coming here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's great having you. And I'd like to know, how many spas do you own?
Well, at this time, I own 3 large spas and 1 concession at the Hyatt, where we take care of clients who have moved on into that type of a situation.
And where are each of these places?
We have a spa at the Stanford Shopping Center.
In California.
In California, Palo Alto. And another one in the same area, at Town and Country Shopping Center. And then my first spa is in San Francisco, downtown off Union Square.
And you just renewed the Town and Country one to make it green?
Well, we had a little fire that turned out into a major event, and so I really wanted to use this momentum and build a spa that was all friendly. Everything, all the material there is recycled, something that adheres to the ecology philosophy of today. And that gave me great pleasure to build this spa. It was all new to me, and it really worked well.
That's great. And what made you start in the beauty business?
It was a little bit of a accident, I would say. I came here as a student. I've always supported myself since I was very young through fashion and beauty, mostly fashion in Israel, where I grew up. Pardon me?
Were you a model?
No, I wasn't a model. I was dressing beautiful women like you.
Oh, yeah, well, you should be a model.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I was working all day and going to school at night to finish high school, and I stumbled, having a skin problem, stumbled into a situation where these estheticians of the old generation were neighbors, and they took me in and they took care of my skin, and I started helping them out while I was working in a high fashion boutique, and slowly it just kind of took me, consumed me. I started liking what they were doing. I started paying attention, and they offered me a larger job, and I started working there, and then I got my credentials, high school credentials, did a little bit stunt in the Army, and then...
You did a little stunt?
And
oh, by the way, I did a little stunt in the Army.
And then came here as a student.
And you were born?
I was born in the Ukraine.
Which was Russia.
Which is Russia. Well, was Russia.
Right.
Is now Ukraine,
Okay.
is an independent state. I was actually born in Lvov, which was an annexed Poland to Russia at the time. And one of the ways that we were able to get out of there was because my grandfather and part of my family was from Poland. And in 1957-58, they had exchange of citizens. So Russians went back and Polish went back, and my grandfather was able to take us out of a communist regime at that time. And from Poland, we went to Italy, and first Poland, we stayed 1 year, and I went to my first year in school there.
And how old were you then?
I think I was 7 or 6 or 7. When we left Russia, I was 5. Then I started school, and then by the time we finished, I think I was around 7. And then we went to Italy and stayed there for a few months waiting
Which is totally another language. So you learned Italian also?
Well, I didn't learn Italian in that
Okay.
at that time, but you know, traveling, I learned some Italian. I can't claim, you know, I can't claim that I really speak fluent,
Right.
but they can't sell me in any restaurant. Let's put it this way. And we waited there for permission to immigrate to Israel. It was a big deal then, trying to get in to Israel. And we took one of those big boats. I still have pictures waving, and
Oh, wow.
you know, the whole family, and we immigrated to Israel, and I grew up there.
And were you able to take everything from your home, or did you just go with a couple of suitcases?
Well, leaving Russia, you don't really take anything. We left on a train. It took just about every fortune my grandfather had to bribe the way out to get us into that situation. We couldn't work in any country. We were refugees in Poland. My grandmother's sister lived there with her family, so we stayed with them. And that's, you know, again, nobody could work, so it kept just, you know, liquidating whatever gold and crystal and silver and things like this.
And how big was your sister's place that you
Her
all...
sister, well, it was probably a three-room apartment, you know, but who cared?
Right.
I was a kid, I was playing in the street. It was a tough time to be Jewish and Russian in Poland. They hated both, so it was a tough time. It's kind of, you know, left a lot in my soul.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get deeper in your soul right
Oh.
now, since we've opened up the soul. You were telling me a little bit about your parents. Would you like to share that with us?
Well, my parents were amazing. They met each other. My mother was 19 and my father was 20. He heard about my mother being in Basarabia, Romania, and he was in Kiev, and he traveled all the way to meet her. My father is deaf, not born deaf, but deaf and mute, and so is my mom. So they sort of tend to drift to each other, find each other, and intermarry. And they were beautiful and gorgeous and happy, but deaf as they were.
So you learned how to...
I grew up learning partially how to really express myself lip-wise. So, you know, I'm pretty animated because of that. And I also grew up learning how to communicate with them and their friends. And, you know, each language has its own sign language. So I grew up knowing Russian Sign Language, and then sort of reworked it when we came to Israel.
And then when was your brother first, or?
No, my brother is 5 years younger, and he was born. He's a baby when we left. He was born with full cataract and stigmus, so he was basically declared legally blind. And I remember him having his first eye surgery in Poland on the way, but I think at that time everything was just butchery and not surgery. So they really cut part of his cornea, and he has a whole amazing story of his own. You should have it. Was the title that you were introducing. He so fits in. He so fits in.
I would love to meet him.
Yeah, you really
He has regained part of his eyesight?
My brother is one of the gurus of the world in eyesight exercises.
And his name?
His name is Schneider, and he has developed a system based originally on the Bates philosophy of eye exercises and activating muscles that are just layman dysfunctional, and also using light and using all sort of ways to strengthen the cornea and the eye. So I think at the age of 9 or 10, he started really following his heart on it, because he couldn't take being blind in school. He was studying Braille, and it was very, very tough. And children are very abusive to a child like that. And I think my brother is a very strong character.
I mean, you are too.
I think circumstantially, you know, when you grow in a household like this, it's what happens. You become strong and independent, and he's strong and independent. And so he brought a whole new technique. He worked with Feldenkrais and Alexander, and you know, body, soul, mind, everything is involved and activated in his philosophy. So he works with muscular sclerosis and Parkinson and muscular disease and all that. But his whole philosophy comes from first working with the eyes and then going into the total body. And you know, you'll meet him and you see what and how. But he actually is driving a car now.
Wow.
Yeah, he can't see like you and me. He could never. When he came here, Dr. Hoyt, who was the father of the text for cataract, wanted to meet him because he heard about his capacity. And when he measured his eyes, he could not believe that he could see what he sees with what he has in there. And both of his children were born with the same problem. Wow. So now, you know, Dr. Hoyt, you know, they became real friends, and it's a long story.
This
but
is
Dr.
another TV show.
It's another show. It really is. But Dr.
Yeah.
Hoyt has operated on both of his children.
Yeah.
And
Since
now
we only have one more minute, I want to really get to know a little bit about you too.
Okay. Okay.
So your character and your human spirit has developed also from your whole family and what you've gone through in your whole life. And it must have been very difficult growing up, you know, changing environments all the time, changing languages, parents that were deaf and mute, and a brother that's blind, and you being, as you said, the normal one. So I can see how you have brought so much into your business to everybody to help them. And is there anything you'd like to say in our last 30 seconds?
Well, I'd like to say that you can pretty much be whoever you want to be in life. And beauty is a whole segment on its own. But I believe in the beauty of the mind and the beauty of the external and the internal beauty. And I think one supports the other. And isn't that true that when you look at yourself in the mirror on the days that you feel well and you feel beautiful to yourself is a day that you can conquer just about anything?
Oh, yeah.
Because when you wake up and you look at yourself and you don't love yourself and you're not beautiful to yourself, whatever that may be, you don't feel empowered all day long.
I totally agree. I hate to end this, but we'd have to end. Thank you so much, Bella, and I hope to have you back so we can go deeper into this, because I totally agree on loving yourself from the inside first.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
So now we are going to see the restorative power that the brain does for Michael Duncheon. Here we are with Michael Duncheon, and I'm so happy that you joined us. And Michael and I have been working together for 2 years, and I want to find out a little bit, well, I want our audience to find out a little bit more about you. 2 years ago, you found out you
had Parkinson's disease.
Right. And how did you feel when you heard that news?
Well, I knew something was wrong before I heard, because one side of my body felt numb, and I didn't feel as limber, or as I couldn't move very well, and my voice was slower, and so I was relieved to find out, I guess, what the problem was. But it's Parkinson's is it's a long-term disease, so it's not like it's discouraging to get the news, but then it doesn't. They tell you it's a progressive disease, and it takes a while to work to have its full effect.
And you've had this disease for 2 years now, and do you feel a difference?
It was
diagnosed
2 years ago. Well, the combination of exercising and losing some weight, and taking the medicine makes me feel almost normal most of the time.
And what made you choose working with me 2 years ago?
Well, I liked your dance background and your orientation on sort of feeling your muscles and working with your core. I had no idea I had abs before I met you. And I knew I needed to do something, and I thought your program sounded very interesting and what I needed.
Yeah, well, my motto is find it, feel it, move it. And if you can't find it, how can you feel it? And if you can't feel it, how can you move it? So a lot of people who exercise normally just do it, which is the Nike logo. And my motto is, well, if you have to just do it to get started, that's great. But once you just do it, you should get more deeper into really finding the specific muscle groups in charge of controlling your body and feeling it. So it's mind-body connection, minding your body, so you really start to feel what you're doing. Release. Now you feel how it shortens in here? Keep that shortness as you put the foot down. That's you holding on to that muscle. And 8 times. Lift it up, relax your shoulders, and put it down. As you come in, you breathe out. There's your candle, blow it out, and put it back in. Now, you're going to find your right ab and left ab in a pelvic tilt now. And pelvic tilt, not your shoulders, not your neck. You good. And use the abs to roll you down and roll down. Good. Nice. As you roll up, you breathe out. Let all the air out of the balloon and use the abs to roll you down. Good. You're going to roll up. There you go. A little higher. That's it. And roll down, elongating, breathe. Straighten the knees in between, arms over the head, flex the feet, and feel that nice, comfortable stretch. Good. Bring the arms up so you feel the shoulders into the back. Good. You feel the shoulders in the back? Pulse a little from the shoulders in the back as you breathe out. Easy. 8, 7. Remember, I start counting when I hear the breath. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Open up, breathe in. And now your left rib is starting to help you, slowly.
That makes, especially for someone whose muscles aren't as automatic as they used to be, or are supposed to be.
Right.
Being able to do it consciously makes a whole lot of sense, and it's helped me a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to fight against the progression of the disease by doing this with you, and I'm excited seeing you're controlling your body the way you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's been very good, and I do think it's slowed down the effect of the disease. So
well, that's great.
that's good.
Good. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I have a theory that by maintaining the mind-body connection with people who have Parkinson's disease, it can arrest the progression of the disease. And I've been working with Michael for 2 years on this theory, and I'm so excited to see that it is really working. And we are keeping every little tiny muscle activation in his body alive. I am coaching Michael on not allowing his analytical left brain to take over the feeling part of his right brain. If he uses his left brain too much, he becomes stiff and doesn't enjoy the process of dancing.
Because you get so hung up on the steps that the left brain is working. And so you want the right brain to also just enjoy it. And there's a little bit of give and take of trusting, which is hard when you're learning something, because you hold on to that left brain of like right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot.
Well, it's a big responsibility.
Yes. What you're doing, the more you let go, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
And then you get into trust. Okay, let's do the first dance again. Okay. Good job, though.
I try to integrate both sides of the brain so the spirit and the soul have a chance to have fun and express themselves. And you will see how Michael also adores ballroom dancing and utilizes this mind-body connection in his ballroom dancing.
Eyes. Okay, Joan, loosen up a little bit, cross, good. Your jello, good. Let him move you. Good. Even if it's less than you're expecting. Own it until you can go to the next stage. Good. Okay, Michael, this is you. You got it. That's it. Good job. Yes. Good. Goodbye, my love, goodbye. Yes, that was much better. Now we are going to show you the importance of putting the brain and the body together as a ballerina. I have found a very old film clip of me dancing on TV where somebody filmed the TV set. So it's not going to be the best footage as far as quality, but you will see that it has the dancing and the mind-body connection. So come sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you so much for joining us for the Stephanie Herman Show. And I hope you remember to use your brain and your body together as one so you can allow the spirit to come out. And remember, the beauty comes from within, and then you could be your whole person and enjoy life. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
My loving baby is through with me.